Hey guys, just a quick disclaimer. The presentation was done from the perspective of a teenager who doesn't check his grammar, so you can see multiple misspellings and all this other stuff, but it's part of the concept.
All right. If you are a designer in the room, if you work with designers, if you appreciate good design on any level, you're going to want to stick around for this one. We've got George from Spin Master. And also, if you happen to have, I don't know, kids ages 8 to 12, something like that, and if you're familiar with the Diary of a Wimpy Kid book series, I know I've got like 25 of those books in my house. Um, you're gonna love what he's put together here because it's all in that same theme, very creative. Um, and again, George has put a lot of time into this, coming from the design side at Spin Master, and all that he's gone through in terms of our 3D solutions and getting those into play within his role. So
Yeah, yeah.
Diary of a Wimpy Packaging Designer. Um, I realize I've been saying Esko Studios wrong the whole time. It's actually Esko Studio, but for the longest time I've been saying Esko Studio. So I wanted to make sure I fixed that on my deck, and so we got. So now that now that I got that out of the way. Hello, my name is George Olarte. Uh, that's me. Um, for the last 9 years, I've been a graphic designer at the global toy and entertainment company Spin Master. Spin Master has been designing, developing, manufacturing consumer products for children around the world since 1994. We bring you Hatchimals, Paw Patrol, Erector, Bakugan, a lot of plastic that you step on probably on the floor in the morning. I'm here to speak about a program near and dear to me, Esko Studios. And obviously, since you're here, you probably know about it, but how many of you use it daily? When was the first time you heard about Esko Studios? Wow. See, I've only known about it since 2017. That was the first time I actually seen it. And so, I wish I would have known about it sooner. So I apologize. Uh, but I'm going to walk you through 3 case studies of projects I use Esko Studios with. And through these stories, I hope to show you the power of the software and how it transformed me as a packaging designer. I can remember the first time I saw Esko Studios. March 2017. Employee evaluations are happening this week with a director, who also happens to be the biggest bully at work. Another year of meets expectations, I guess. About that exceeds the expectation you gave yourself. I heard someone talking about evaluations earlier, so it's kind of funny. After the meeting with the boss, he pulled me in a demo and presentation from the Artios dudes. That's how I knew them, the Artios guys. I came for the lunch. Unfortunately, there was none. Got stuck in a seat where I couldn't escape without being noticed. And then the demo started. And what we saw blew us away. I mean, it was just like sorcery. There was like he had Illustrator up, and it was rendering packaging in 3D at the same time. I was blown away. Hazy was probably blown away too. But it was the first time I actually seen something like this. They were adding substrates, different colors, different things were happening, and it was all in real time. And I knew Esko would be back in a month to train us, and I just had to be in that training session. June 2017. This Esko training session is way too early, and I'm usually late to these things. To no one's surprise, IT didn't supply us with enough laptops to train with. So we had to huddle around in groups trying to learn Esko Studios. What was cool was Paul Plank. I don't know if he's here. Oh, yeah, that's the man. And yeah, he was great. Yeah, he's a graphic designer, so he's able to walk us through Illustrator and sort of dip our toes in Studio. And I mean, he was our guide. He was our shepherd. He kind of just walked us through. It's always daunting when you're learning a new program, so you're great, Paul. And so we were on our way to creating Esko Studio renders, and this was my first render. Had the window blister, the chip art, the foil board material, the outer carton, the reflective floor. That's nuts to me because we had to do that in Photoshop in the past, and just to have it like do it was pretty amazing. And it was just like this package that had like volume, different materials to it. I was impressed. July 2017. A weekend and I got the basics down. I mean, I had to totally ignore actual work, freaking work through lunch, and ignore my work BFF. That's to all the work BFFs out there. But every day was progress. Like every single day, I was just learning so much and learning new things. And then I reached back into my archives of packaging that I had previously created that fell short of what I envisioned when we received samples from China, like bad tape jobs, dinged up in transit. So I wanted to go back and right some wrongs. So one of the first packages I pulled up was the Mecha Spider from Meccano. And this package is a box. It just had a lot of different angles to it. It had a corrugate handle, spot UV, soft touch, which is what Apple packaging has. And we really wanted that spider to pop, and so this was my first studio render without Paul. He really got me on my way, so I really loved how this came out. But it's a box. Doesn't have all the little parts to it, the plastic, the windows, the inner carton, outer carton. So that was like the next step, and that's what you use a studio toolkit to. It's kind of like the garage. You assemble all the parts and pieces, and it's sort of like this 3D environment. And there's a little bit of a learning curve for us. I mean, for me at least. But once I got the hang of it, I kind of worked it into my workflow, and folder structure is a must. But when you kind of find your own groove, you kind of just work with it. And I try to break it down into 3 simple steps, which was to gather and assemble your files in Studio Toolkit, design using the assemble files in Adobe Illustrator, and then generate packages while you're drinking pina coladas or smoking cigars, or as my friends would say, smoking blunts. And I would just kick out these beautiful renders. Like this was like one of the first ones was the Micronoid. It had like the inner carton, you could see the corrugate on the side, had these nice little angles, had a matte finish with the robot was in a spot UV, so when you turn it, you could actually see it. And it had the product in there. And you're able to color the product, so you kind of really have a great feel of what the packaging is gonna look like. And the beauty of Esko Studios is that you could kick out a keyshot file. And once you bring it in a keyshot, you get a lot more control on materials, lighting. You can punch up the drama like way more. And so you can see like now that you can see the product. I mean, the product looks like it's there. Whew. I'm still amazed. But like, if you go to like Amazon and see what Amazon has, like that's the image that you see, and like they just don't compare. I wish I could tell them like, hey, can you use this, please? Because I don't know if maybe that's why it's on sale. July 2017. Nothing else matters. I'm spending half my days at work tinkering with Studio. It was like one thing to work on packages that I've already completed, but what about projects that are new, where the stakes are a little bit higher? Enter the Paper Shredders product line. This was like a bunch of toy instruments, with the star being this guitar. So it had to have a great try me on shelf. But it gave me the opportunity to work with CAD files and Artio's CAD files. So to be able to wrap the packaging around the product, that was key. And so once we kind of like worked through the different structures, we did the Thanos snap and made them all disappear till we had one. And that was the one we wanted to work with. So After that, I kind of do what I normally do, which is graphic design. And I relied on my old skill set, which was like putting boards together, generating concepts, research and developing graphics and designing logos. And sort of, you can kind of see what I was trying to do, so this heavy metal look. Maybe it was like, the top was like American Idol. The bottom was like this punk rock pop. And the last page was for all the gear sleds to just buy gear. What was new was Esko Studios. And this time, like, I had it in my arsenal. When working on a flat packaging file, it looks like a puzzle. You can't really see what's going on when you're working on it. It's like an odd thing. But with the help of Esko Studios, I'm able to sort of see exactly what's going to happen, and it's happening in real time. I can move logos around, and you hit the little refresh button, and all of a sudden you see it. So this enabled me to kind of quickly work through different ideas and have a bunch of different kind of packaging concepts. So this was phase one, and this is the way I pulled all those mood boards into sort of what I was doing with the structures. We kind of narrowed it down to 3, and wanted to bring in a kid, so a kid can envision himself in these packages. And then for some reason, we eliminated the word paper, so it just became shredders. Now I'm adding more display units. There was this drum packaging where the wrap kind of wrapped from the bottom and the top. So it gave me a couple of opportunities to do something different. And then final with phase 4. And this was it. So definitely had the wrap. We had an amp that was paper. Everything about this was paper. And we were really happy with where it went. August 2017. Major emergency meeting today. New project lands on my lap, which should be cool, right? Only we have a little over a month to get nail the design and get it approved. Yeah, I'm not worried at all. And this new project, his name was QB. He was a little robot. He had this little cube form factor, so they wanted to make sure they had sort of a box for it. And the little robot got a lot of attention at the New York Toy Fair, and the brand team really wanted to push the product and capitalize on the moment. Boxer, are you there? There he is. And that's Boxer, the little pint-sized robot. And we wanted to make sure that we punched up the charm that he had, and so we knew it was crunch time. Usually at this point, we have a pro sort of illustrate these blue line illustrations to kind of show exactly where we're going to go with the concepts. But I didn't have that time, and I knew I had to rely on my own artistic skills to kind of do these sketches. And so these are the first ones. And I mean, they're all right. They kind of get the idea through. It's a big box, big blister window that went on the top. Maybe Boxer or QB was doing his little wheelie. So that was the first option. Option 2 was this clamshell box that, maybe the idea was that Boxer would be peeping from the top, and you open the box and then he jumps out. I mean, that everybody likes an unboxing moment, so that's what we were thinking about. The sketches don't get any better, so this was option 3. Maybe the idea is that when you open the box, you see some sort of material, like marketing stuff. Maybe it lit up. The idea was that his eyes would be die cut, and maybe when you walk past it, he would follow you. So those were our 3 options. I thought maybe if I make it blue, it'd work better. But no. And so after that, I got with my instructional engineer, because it could only be 2. A designer and instructional engineer, and that's Jerry. He's retiring next week, but man, that guy was amazing. But I showed him my sketch, and he gave me some good options on some structurals. And then once I got the structures from Jerry, I put down graphics and started kicking out some renders. So this was the first one, and as you could tell, it didn't deviate too much from my sketch. It's still there. It has QB doing his little wheelie. I might say Boxer and QB because we eventually called him Boxer. And you could take Studio and sort of show the top. These are sort of the 3D turnarounds of them. So I mean, this was cool. It's pretty straightforward. It shows a toy, but we wanted to step it up a little bit more for the second option, which was the clamshell. Get the graphics down, and the real challenge with this was those two side panels at the top had to match up when the box closed. And for Esko Studios, that was easy to do. I mean, it would show you exactly where it closed. So if you needed to make adjustments, you would. And these were the renders. So it was really minimalistic from the front. When you opened it up, it has really great pop of color. I'll get to that hole in a little bit. But maybe the idea was that Boxer would turn on, or QB would turn on and maybe say something, you jump off the box. These were turnarounds. So the unboxing moment for this guy was, maybe if you open it, a ball would pop out. I know it's simple. It wasn't him turning on and jumping up, but maybe like a ball would pop out and you would interact with it. So that was the unboxing moment for this guy. And so for the last option, which was that bad sketch I had, I actually liked how this was turning out. It had kind of this like Xbox feel. There's a lot of mystery with the green. And you could see where the die cut eyes were for where the product was going to sit. What was cool about this was when I wrapped this graphic around it, and when you render it, it was really nice to kind of just see how the graphics could run it. So there was a lot of mystery behind this packaging, but hopefully the eyes, when you walk by, would turn on. And then when you opened it, it had this great pop of color from the inside. And what was cool is when you opened this package, it kind of lifted up QB, so he's like, oh. And those are turnarounds. And the unboxing moment for this was, what if we took QB, turn off the lights, and I know that it would have been expensive. It would have been expensive. The first option probably was the cheapest option, but we wanted to show what this software could do. October 13, 2017. Friday the 13th. What could go wrong? We've only had a month to work on the QB project. I'm only presenting concepts to one of the Spin Master's co-founders, Ben Vardy, and our CMO, Nancy Zurers. Yeah, no sweat. But really, no sweat. Like, what we presented, Ben, was these great structures and sort of like the 3D renders of what we were presenting. And he was really able to visualize exactly what we were trying to do and what we were trying to accomplish. So the decision making was really, really easy for him to do. Can you guys guess which one he picked? Well, if you saw the flyer from the Keyshot thing, you probably already know it. Spoiler alert. And so this is the packaging they finally picked. And as you can tell, it didn't deviate too far from the sketch I had. I mean, it had him peeping out from the top. It's a clamshell box. We eventually called it Boxer. Ben loved the peekaboo concept, the minimal graphics, and the charm of the packaging. And Nancy couldn't believe the speed in which we delivered the project from start to finish. She kept telling me, like, wow, that was so fast how we got approvals on that. And it's true. And the charm of this package was that it became part of Boxer's essence and his DNA, and I'll let Boxer kind of tell you about that.
Boxer, the box bot. You can take Boxer out of the box, but you can't take the box out of Boxer. He'll always be high-tech and hilarious. Just watch what you feed him. Boxer, Boxer, Boxer. Enormous play, tiny bot from Spin Master.
So, yeah, I mean, like it's a dream. Like if for a package designer, your package becomes more than something that holds the toy and something that you throw away. I mean, like, it's in the commercial. And that whole unboxing thing became like part of it, part of its essence. Like this was one of unboxing.
This is Boxer, your pint-sized, freewheeling robot, always on the move. He comes ready to play right out of the box with a ton of cool features.
So you can kind of see, like, when you open it up, the ball came out. I mean, he's already interacting with the package before he even turned it on. And we were really happy about that. That was Boxer, guys. November 1st, 2017. The boss man pulls me into his office. Remember that exceeds expectation you gave yourself? You won't believe this. I can't believe this. I got a promotion today. What the? My creative director was so impressed with that year and everything I did in that year. And I couldn't help but think how much Esko Studios helped in sort of raising me to a different level. And that's a true story about how I stopped being a wimpy packaging designer with the help of Esko Studio.
Yeah, yeah.
That is fantastic. We got questions for George?
Yes?
Yeah, George, I've also had a graphic design, and I've been doing 3D for a long time. I just want to say that was inspirational, and thank you for your passion, and I'm excited, man. This is one of the best presentations I've ever seen in my life.
Well, this is the first time I've actually presented. So thank you for that. I appreciate that.